hi there and welcome along to What's the Word this super sunny weekend. Of course, looking forward to some classic action at the Curragh and of course the Pitman's Derby as well. I'm joined here this week by Shane Mann from our sponsors Ladbrokes. Brendan Duke is happily still in his summer attire and Johnny Ward as well. And you, Johnny, you are putting us all to shame today. Tin of fruit on.
Yeah, I'm going to a wedding after.
Oh, right, okay.
Girl I used to go out with.
What?
So this is my last chance to get her to change her mind.
It's going to be like a runaway bride type scene here, is there? Where you
Absolutely.
chase down after her.
It's one of these weddings where the ceremony takes place in the hotel, 20 minutes, no religious stuff, in and out, straight to the bar.
No having to
Happy
drive
days.
anywhere between.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And if you're getting bored, just get a Joe or home. Happy days.
He's got Dundalk
in Dublin
Cork
as
well on the TV tonight too.
Yeah. So I'm going to go up to the bar to mingle with people, but actually just watch the telly.
Okay, Doug. What? That is absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Have you been enjoying the sun again, Dukey? Enjoying your new hobby of sea swimming?
I was in the Sea Point this morning,
Yeah?
and I was not alone, Tom.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, smell my arm there.
It smells of the sea, actually.
Yeah, the brine.
Yeah.
I'm an old sea dog. It's seeping out of my pores at this stage. So and I went double dipping yesterday.
Maybe you should explain that.
Well, I go at, well, you see, I don't want to get out in the sun too much, so I go at about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Then I go home, have a little break, because just avoid.
You're enjoying a kind of Spanish lifestyle.
Yeah,
well, siesta in the afternoon.
Only the mad dogs, yeah. And then I come back at about 6 o'clock for my second dip.
Oh,
Beautiful.
very good, very good. So you're living many people's dream, I feel, Dukey.
We are though, like everyone in Ireland the last week or so is living this kind of like lifestyle they thought they never had. Where it's like,
absolutely.
You go out, you wear shades, like kind of dress, provocatively, and basically enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. All change. And speaking of all change as well, Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby this weekend, and it is the end of an era because it's going to be Desi Scal's last Irish Derby call. Obviously, this is going to be like the end of any year. We're going to have a bit of a long goodbye here running into Irish Oaks weekend, but what a man.
Yeah, I think with Desi, in fairness, like he is the voice of Irish racing. They say the voice of this or that, but Desi he was the one that we all grew up listening to because there was really nobody else commentating. The odd big day you might have Tony Hare, but Desi was the voice, a very iconic voice, very distinct voice until Jerry Hannon came along and tried to do the same voice. But what an icon he has been, and probably deserved a little bit of a more kind of fitting send off from his employers, I think, than he got.
Yeah, I think that's that's probably right. Yeah, do you have a favourite Desi moment, Dukey?
Yeah, well, probably the 2015 Irish Champion Hurdle, which you will remember, Jeski and Hurricane Fly, two camps that strongly fancied their chances, and Jeski was travelling away there. The fly was off the bridle or what have you, and then they turned for home, and it was a kind of one of his more guttural shouts. He said he loomed up and he eyeballed Jeski, and the fly's going away. So it was a great race, and it was a good commentary.
Well, you're broadcaster, Shane. Surely you have plenty of favourite moments.
Colulta Vic for me, Tom. A
bit
bit of hilarity in it as well. I mean, he'll never recover from that. And then just at the end, he says he's done it. And I can actually remember the echo just reverberating across the hills and back in. I'd say people in Naas heard it like it was that loud. But it was just one of those moments where you thought this is just legendary.
The one thing about Desi as well, which I always admired, he had context and perspective. So you've English commentators are commentating on a selling hurdle in Carlisle and roaring down the screen. I'm like, dude, chill out here. This is a 2 grand race full of crap. Desi didn't get excited about that. He got excited when he should have been excited.
His Faugheen call actually in the Murgiana hurdle this year was pretty good as well,
on Penn Hill. I went around that day like, oh, isn't it great that the machine is back, lumped on Penn Hill.
There's always a betting story to come back to, isn't there?
We have the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby as well this weekend. Obviously, it's sad that Desi's last call. Do you have any favourite Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby memories?
Loved Dalakani and Alan Shar. Thought that was a great race. Loved, obviously, you'd have to love the recent kind of derbies where I suppose Joseph came on the scene, and even though they might have been the greatest races in the world.
No, his Camelot call was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, very fond memories of Grey Swallow in it as well. I think it's a fascinating race this year, actually. If you want everyone that was in Epsom turning up, that's grand. But if you have like 2 of the first 4 and you have these dark ones coming in, and a much fairer track. The Epsom's a crazy track. This is a fair track.
Lunacy. Duke, do you have a favourite Irish Derby winner?
Probably Salsaville.
1990 or so?
Shout. I had to look that up, I'll admit, Tom. Okay. But it turns out I was 13 at the time, full of promise. And it was the Oaks against the Derby winner, which is
it's just unheard of. It's just fantastic.
yeah, and even then I think it was a very unusual
Yeah.
thing to happen. And she was a brilliant filly, and she bolted up. So
Favourite Irish Derby winner, Shane?
More recent one for me, Tom. Jack Hobbs, probably not the most exciting memory, but just from a personal point of view, probably one of very few number of Derby winners I ended up finding. He was very short on the day as well. I think he was even money.
Yeah,
I think
returned
was the
evens,
SB. Yeah, thought he was a great bet at the prices after his good second in the Epsom version. So yeah, Jack Hobbs for me.
My favourite was Monsieur, and actually Desi had a great line as well. It said, "Cash gets the money in the Irish Derby." So very good. Cash
It's
gets
sad
the
that
money.
there aren't enough French horses running the race now.
Yeah.
It really is. Like they're
That French Derby winner looked
was
made
like.
for it.
Do you remember he was? What was he like? 1 to 3 or something, and it was. I remember it was a day where Sumion was completely outridden by Johnny Murtagh. It was like guerrilla warfare back in the day.
Yeah, actually, it was
where
brilliant,
the rebels knew like the nooks and crannies of every little area. Johnny Murtagh knew the track better than Christophe Sumion, and he basically rode him to sleep on the day. But the French horses will bring a fascinating aspect to it, and that's kind of sadly gone now.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Well, let's move on to this year's renewal. Give us a few prices there, Shane. Saxon Warrior, assume odds on.
Yeah, odds on, Tom. 4 to 6 of the last show. 7 to 2 DXB. 12 to 1 then. All Persian been supplemented for this race. 20 to 1 then about the next 5. Delano Roosevelt, the Pentagon is in there. 20 to 1. The Trobe. Night to Behold at 20s also. Platinum Warrior 20s. 25 to 1 bar.
Obviously, Old Person supplement, but technically not supplement because he got a free entry
free
as
entry,
well.
yeah.
Just to make that clear in case you think, they put their 100 grand in.
No.
They actually didn't. But Jiggy, what about this Saxon Warrior? Would you have hopes for him? You think? This is race?
I still have hope for him. I'm still scratching my head over Epsom because it looked like he didn't handle the track, having floated through the dip in Newmarket. So that makes no sense at all. Maybe it was just an off day, but taking 6 to 4 on a bit of horse who's put up a fairly tame effort the last time wouldn't be my bag. So I'm going to take 20 to 1 a bit of horse who put up a fairly tame effort the last day in Delano Roosevelt, who, in fairness, Ballydoyle had 3 runners in the King Edward and somehow conspired to run the race to suit none of them. I don't know what happened there. They either didn't have a plan or didn't execute the plan properly or what have you.
Actually, it was a bit of a slow early pace. Wasn't it?
It was slow early, and then it was stopped and started, and he never had a chance in the race. He went off favourite there against Old Persian. So if the market was right and he was the best horse in that race, each way 20 to 1. He may not be a warrior of the turf either, but we can't be sure about 20 to 1 each way.
Have you left the Pentagon camp at this stage?
Oh yeah, he hasn't trained on. It is worthy of Sherlock Holmes, that mystery, but we haven't got time for that, Tom. I mean, I just don't understand.
Johnny, who do you think wins the Irish Derby?
Well, I think the favourite is honestly one of the worst priced favourites I've seen in a classic ever. There's no way.
He has drifted in the last couple of hours as well.
4 to 6,
4 to 6.
I wouldn't back him at 7 to 4, genuinely no.
Okay, I was just about to ask you what
of course
price
you would
back
because
him?
you can arb him, blah blah blah. But he's not.
No, but if
me,
he's a genuine
he's a 2 to 1 shot. I think. He was odds on in Epsom when he didn't win, and not only that, he didn't prove that he stays. And that's the big. His mum didn't stay. His sister Pavlenka didn't stay, even though he's by Deep Impact and he won the Racing Post Trophy. Everyone thinks he has to get a mile and a half. Any horse that wins the Guineas to me is a doubtful stayer over a mile and a half, at least a doubtful stayer. He didn't answer that question, and he has to reverse the form with a horse that I wouldn't really be considering as necessarily DXB a hugely obvious winner of the race, because I think he's vulnerable. To back him at odds on, you're not going to win money punting. Unless you have some information from that yard, you cannot back that horse at odds on, or you're not going to win money punting in the long term.
Do you think he was slightly unlucky at Epsom?
He might have been in love with the track, but he was beaten 4 lengths. He didn't stay. Like, to me, he didn't stay.
Break well.
But you look at something like
break
Cracksman in the Coronation Cup, and he didn't handle the track. He still managed to win because by the time you get to the 2 pole, it seems to flatten out a little bit.
I'm not
and you
even
can
sure
actually
he didn't. I just think he's kind of developed his own ideas now, because he ran roughly the exact same race at Royal Ascot, where he just didn't bother, to my mind, actually travelling, or he just looks like he's kind of half given up. But getting back to this, you cannot back this horse to odds on, and any bookmaker worth his salt, which hopefully will be Labrooks in the morning, should be going even money, like Ted Hegarty in Shelbourne Park, going roaring off the rooftops, even money that's favourite. 11 to 10 if you want. No.
Right, who wins?
I'll be doing that at the wedding.
Yeah, I can see this.
Johnny, nobody has any interest
no
in
one
racing.
cares about the Irish Derby, Johnny, but I'm
Double
laying
it up
11
with
to 10.
Dundalk if you want. But Platinum Warrior, Warrior of the Turf.
Platinum Warrior.
Could be.
He was a little wayward the last day.
He's definitely wayward.
Yeah, but he had loads left. Loads left. Absolutely
loads left. He's stepping up in trip. He's unexposed. It is the year of the smaller trainer winning the classics in Ireland so far.
I would absolutely love it if Mick
absolutely.
Mick Halford wins.
Mick Halford has a saying after a race: when every horse is very straightforward, This horse is not very straightforward.
No, he's not. He's
but he's
definitely
by Galileo. He's a bigger price than Latrobe, who he beat comfortably the last day, and he's that beautiful
And
angle.
he's been laid out for the race.
Laid out for the race,
Absolutely
and
laid out for the
stepping
race.
up in trip with the almost certain improvement forthcoming. He's my selection.
Okie doke. As well as the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby on Saturday, we have the Gain Railway Stakes as well. Shane, thoughts on this one?
Yeah,
Just
just
prices rather for this
a
one.
few tissue prices here at the moment. Tom, 11 to 8, we go about Land Force, possibly might drift in the next couple of hours. Van Beethoven 3 to 1, 7 to 1 Invasion Day, 8 to 1 Highland Fortune will go 10 to 1 bar.
Right, Juki, you who keeps a close eye on these Irish 2-year-olds, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I don't think it's a particularly strong race. So you've the third in the Norfolk against the fourth at the Windsor Castle, and they're well, much of a muchness really. There were two good efforts. In fairness, the favourite was unlucky in the Norfolk. He was probably on the wrong side of the track, but I don't know how strong that form was. And I was looking at, in the context of this race, I was looking at Invincible Karma, a twice race maiden, you say, Tom. I know it wouldn't be traditional winner of a race of this quality, but it is good maiden form. The Crypt, who beat him the last day, finished second in one of the strongest Irish maidens run this year.
Yeah, and then went on and won the following day.
Yes, yeah. He beat Invincible Karma. And the fourth that day, Hillwalker, went in at Goran at the weekend. And they were a very nice bunch before the race. I said that was a decent maiden. So he's going to be a price because he's a maiden. Each way, Invincible Karma, I think is better.
Yeah, Johnny?
Yeah, kind of echo what Yuki said. I find it tough. The riding arrangements would suggest that Land Force may even become an each way price actually towards the end. I think stepping back up and trip is going to suit him. And a side note, this is called the Railway Stakes. It would be great if Irish Rail brought the Curragh stop back into action, because the Curragh's been done up, get off at the Curragh on race day, have the stop dead every other, like they used to back in the day. It's not, 15 years ago I think they stopped running the Curragh, but they really should bring the you know, the Irish Derby might have 25,000 at next year. Wouldn't it be lovely to get the train there from Dublin, get the train back?
I'm sure a lot of people in the car will be very, very happy with
Absolutely.
that idea were to come to fruition between now and 12 months' time. Who wins this race, though?
I'm with Land Force, but I probably know a betting race. Without knowing the prices, I'd be tentative.
Anything else on Saturday for you to stand out across the cards?
There's a quick one in Newmarket. The first in Newmarket is a listed fillies 2-year-old race. I'd be against the favourite, Varian Trained, won a boat race in Goodwood on soft ground, and any Varian horse that's won just gets ramped. He loves ramping horses. That's his job. Archie Watson was en fuego with the 2-year-olds in Ascot, wasn't he? The first and second. Yeah. Well, he runs a filly here called So Brave, an impressive Linkfield maiden winner. Probably wasn't a great maiden, but the third gives the form an element of credibility, and she's drawn very well. She's drawn up the stands rail, which can often be the place to be on the July course. I think she'll ping out, make all about 7 to 1. So
yeah, a bit of a golden highway on the near side, isn't there? The July course. Yeah, Johnny, anything else for you on Saturday?
I quite like Low Sun at the Curragh. Now, Willie has two in that. It's a staying handicap. Now, obviously, he runs the filly in the Northumberland Plate as well, Vegas to Vegas. I actually think it might be an angle, bizarrely, that people don't know. Willie's record in these handicaps is insanely good. Like, his record on the flat is
phenomenal,
good.
absolutely phenomenal.
Good.
Huge level 6 profit as well.
Yeah, phenomenal. So RL Moore, of course, is not on this horse, which might be an angle, because CT Keane, who's arguably the best rider in Ireland at the moment with Pat Smullen, currently not riding.
He's such a good rider because he always keeps it simple as well. He
gave a ride to John Kiley filly in Tipperary last night that was, as Delboy would say, the creme de la menthe. But I like this Low Sun by Sean Delise, who's a stallion of the hot favourite for the Northumberland Plate in Withhold, thoroughly unexposed over the trip. And I think Laws of Spin could make the market for him. And don't be afraid to back Willie's second string in these races. You know, it's good prize money, and Low Sun on the week of lots of sun could be the value.
Yeah. And of course, it's a kind of general Willie Mullins rule at festivals, and don't be afraid of the second and third strings.
Absolutely.
Right, let's move on to Sunday. A couple of group races. Well, there's quite a few group races on Sunday. We'll just look at the Judgment Pretty Polly Stakes. Good to get a good sponsor, by the way, back for this race. We have the Oaks winner Forever Together. Who assumes she's odds on?
Yeah, 4 to 9 Tom with the tissue prices. 5 to 1 Bye Bye Baby. 13 to 2 or thereabouts Urban Fox. 16's Third Rocks Athena, and Harvest for the World 20s.
Juki, who wins this?
Yeah, well, I'm heartbroken that Happily isn't running. I was going to contact my mortgage advisor, but that dream is over. But Forever.
You have a mortgage advisor?
Being honest.
No.
He would have.
But it's a good
I have a
phrase,
lad
though.
for you.
You're after taking that
It's a good
away.
phrase.
The lad I have, right, he's actually a big punter. So he understands if your account looks like chaos.
Yeah.
So, you know, he has ways around that. So
That's very unusual
yeah.
in mortgage advice.
Absolutely.
Normally it's a big red flag, isn't it?
He's literally in the job about a month.
All right, okay. And for another month, anyway. But the Pretty Polly, you're hard to get away from Forever Together. Ideally wants further, ideally wants more cut in the ground. But the only credible alternative is Bye Bye Baby, who wants cut in the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's 2's on. I won't be backing her, but I certainly won't be opposing her.
Can you get away from Forever Together here, Johnny?
If I were to have a bet, I'd probably back Bye Bye Baby just at the prices. There wasn't much between their prices. Might be slightly less inconvenienced by the trip, but in fairness of Forever Together, she's improving to be very, very good horse. She could be an hour contender, I think.
The Comer Group Curragh Cup as well, of course, won last year by Rekindling, who went on to win the Melbourne Cup. Looking at the top of the market here, Shane, how are they going to bet?
Yeah, Giuseppe Garibaldi thought would be about 5-2. 7-2 Twilight Payment Palisader ran it last week at Royal Ascot around 4-1. 4-1 Flag of Honour, 5-1 Bloomfield, 8 Victory Slew, Draper's Guild 16.
Juki, anything for you here?
I'd be surprised if Giuseppe Garibaldi was 5-2.
Yeah.
I think he'll be shorter than that.
Well, maybe for the sake of editing, maybe not focus on the price, and you can just focus on the horse.
Okay, well, again, he was undone by that farcical King
Yes,
Edward.
absolutely,
Ran really well in the circumstances. Needs this trip. 3-year-olds getting the weight. It's a godsend, and he's a really talented horse. I think he would have been a credible each-way shot in the Irish Derby. So he should be dealing with these.
Yeah, absolutely. And he has so many of these kind of horses, you just have to divide them up. You can't run 17 or 18 in the Irish Derby. What do you think, Johnny?
I actually like Palisader. I thought he, albeit Thomas Hobson kind of bombed at Royal Ascot, I thought this lad had a lot in hand. He clearly, he kind of had a fair old think about it the last furlong or two when Jamie Spencer had to correct him. But he's actually, I like horses like that. They're genuine, they have a slight kink, and he's a motivator horse. But he was a bit of a revelation in that race. I thought, for Gordon might use him as his pathway to Melbourne Cup sort of glory down the line. I know it's probably asking a lot, but
no. Well, the horse he was second in a group to he was second in New York with the Lonsdale Cup. He was second in a
back in the day, he was a right good horse for Mark Prescott.
Goodwood Cup as well. So
absolutely, and he might be his kind of, I suppose, his stable star on the flat.
You could see the kink there at the end, couldn't you? Just
started
to wander.
Their horse is an absolute.
But once he corrected him, no problem. So it was kind of stuff like I like Twilight Payment as a horse, but I think to win over this trip, he'd wanted heavy because he's very slow. Giuseppe Garibaldi would be favourite, in which case I'm happy to take him on. And I must mention the sponsor, Luke Comer, who had a winner during the week.
Yeah.
Not only has he been keeping Galway United afloat for the last 2 years.
It's Luke Comer Jr. technically, but
even so, Luke Comer, the Comer name from Glenamaddy, where more or less where I'm from, had a winner in Tipperary, and the best of luck to him here.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's get on some best bets for the weekend. Of course, I will get the lads' best bet, and also, of course, those multiples. Ladbrokes going best odds guaranteed on multiples between 12 and 2 in shops every day. Right, Shane, start with you. Best bet and a treble.
I think Saxon Warrior is one of the lays of the weekend, Tom, in the Irish Derby. DXB for me to take him on at the price of 7-2. Next best is going to be Amazing Red in the Northumberland Plate for Ed Dunlop and Jim Crowley. And I'm also going to put in Urban Fox for the upset in the Pretty Polly.
Good stuff. Juki?
I'll do a trusty Trixie, Tom. I'll put in that So Brave in the 110 in Newmarket. I'll put in Invincible Karma in the Railway Stakes. Unfortunately, I don't know what time that's at. And then I'll go to Sunday for the Double G, Giuseppe Garibaldi in the Curragh Cup. He'll win.
Good stuff. Go on, Johnny.
I'll start with League of Ireland on Friday night.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Bray Wanderers to beat Limerick. The good thing is Limerick are in crisis. The bad thing is Bray might be in crisis.
Bray are always kind of in. Anyway, go on.
Galway Hurlers are not in crisis. -4 against Kilkenny should be very straightforward.
Okay.
One horse, surely.
What's that?
One horse, surely.
And a horse, yeah. And that horse will be no, the horse shall be my nap of the weekend on the horsey front. Let's give it as, can't give it 25 to 1 shot, can I? Let's give it as actually Low Sun. I think he's a very good chance.
Low Sun.
And the treble will pay
big.
2 by sort of 1, 3 by 5. Could pay about 25s.
25s. Okie doke. Dukey, the king of Countdown. You, not so much.
How did the countdown go, by the way?
That was most enjoyable. Yeah. There are a couple of lads out here or there who are on the spectrum, but I mean, other than that.
Notwithstanding yourself.
Anyway, let's wrap on that note. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll be back again next week for more What's the Word.